Jonathan Greening, congratulations on a point coming from 1-0 down. What's your reaction?
Yeah, obviously really pleased to, get a point and score a goal second half to get back into the game. I think probably a tale of two halves really. I think first half we weren't quite on it. We couldn't get our press right. We couldn't really keep the ball as good as we normally can. I think the first time we got 3 or 4 passes together, we got Greeny in on the left-hand side and we blew that chance. But after that, we couldn't get any passes going. It probably wasn't until they scored their goal, obviously through a mistake from us. We started to play a little bit better. We decided to change shape on the pitch, and we were miles better the last 10 minutes of the first half. And we just asked the players at half time to be much more aggressive in the press, bring the intensity up a little bit. Obviously, be better on the ball and try and help the teammate out in which because that's what football is all about. Is any single player on the pitch can make a mistake, and it's about helping your teammate out and getting them out of the situation. And I think second half we were a much better team. If we didn't get the equaliser, it would have been a travesty. I thought we were on the front foot. We played some good stuff. Couldn't really get into the game in terms of real clear chances. We decided to make a few changes. I think they helped the team a little bit. Fresh legs at the right time. Theo's come on, some good play with Brownie and Purves. He gets a little bit of space in the middle of the pitch and he puts a lovely little dink into Noah, who's made a really good overlap, and crosses and Dom scores, and we deserved it. We deserved the goal. And then after that, it was a bit, end to end, a few little bits and bobs. But I think, the second half performance in itself, I think we deserve a point.
In the first half, obviously, that error from Ryan Whitley, but to spin it positively, the number of saves that he's made in this game shows that it was fuel for fire in the end. What did he say at half time about it?
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, goalkeeper is a really hard position because if you make a mistake, usually it leads to a goal. But after that, I think he's made 2 or 3 really good saves in the first half. He's made a couple second half. He's been absolutely outstanding. And he's a top keeper. At this level, in this league, he's a really good keeper. He's going to make mistakes. I think he had one similar last year, I think, Hereford away. So it can happen. But the biggest thing for me today was, after that, he didn't let him affect him. He made 2, 3, 4, 5 really good saves. His kicking got better. He grew more confident during the game. And like I said, I think the whole team got more confident as the game went on. I know we had a little bit of a spooky bum moment in the end, with the tackle from Rower inside the box.
Did you think it was a penalty?
I did at first, I've got to be honest. I was thinking, 10 seconds to go, here we go again kind of thing. But the referee said he did catch him a little bit, but there was not enough contact for him to go down the way he did, screaming and yelling. And he obviously gives a free kick the other way. But I did say to Noah after the game, did you catch him? He said he literally stood in his toe, I think, and he's gone down. So it's one of those. I think it probably, if it was the other way around, would have been screaming, and Jimmy and Blotting here would have been going mental. But listen, you get that in football. We've had some really good calls and really bad calls all season, and for the last 4.5 seasons I've been here. Hopefully, it levels out for each team. So we got away with one.
I know that you're quite depleted on personnel, but when you can change your full front three, it makes a big difference, doesn't it? Because they've all played their part in some degree. Rio Allen, I guess, off the ball, did really well, shielding. Chapman, as you've referenced, the ball in for Wardsworth to then play across. And Richie Bennett showed that he can hold the ball up as well as he always has done.
Yeah, exactly that. And that's what you want. And, we've obviously missed Benno for most of the year. We're trying to be careful with him gradually bringing him back in. I think he had, a couple of minutes the other day. He's had 10, 15 minutes today, and that's what we've got to do. But yeah, he's a good target man, especially in this league. He can flip things on, he can hold balls up, he can cause a little bit of carnage. Theo, we've asked for him to be, a little bit more positive, in his play when he gets the ball. And I thought he did that today, which is what we want from attacking players. And like you said, Rio didn't get much of the ball in possession, but his work rate off it to help Noah defend, the last 5 minutes to see the game out was brilliant. And that's what you want from subs. I just said to him there, actually, I think, you want the subs to affect the game in some kind of way, either, in possession or out of possession. And I think all 3 did that for us today.
3 games unbeaten, you remain fourth in the table as things stand, with some final scores still to come in. How proud are you that your team are digging in through this injury adversity?
Yeah, I mean that's what it's all about, is digging in. I think we've always been like that over the course of I've been here. With the budget, injuries and stuff. Sometimes we've only had 1 or 2 on the bench, start bringing players in. But I knew that when I first took over 4.5 years ago. So nothing's changed, but we just try our best with the players we've got. Like I said to you every single week, a great bunch of players, honest to the day's long, and try and listen to what we tell them. And try and take that on the pitch. And sometimes you can't do it every single time. First half today we weren't as good as we were second half, but it's about when you're losing at half time, can you get a reaction out of them to get back in the game, which we got today. And if you're winning at half time, most of the time it's about being solid and trying to get over the line and keeping. And sometimes both ways. Sometimes it doesn't work the way you want it to work, but the lads work incredibly hard. They listen. They want to get better. They want to stay in the playoffs. They want to get promoted, and that's all you can ask.
Just a final one on the transfer news during the week. Leon Gibson-Booth has gone back out on loan despite maybe having limited numbers. I know that the centre-halves is a well-covered position at the minute, but what's the thinking of giving more game time elsewhere?
Yeah, well, I didn't really want him to go, actually. You're right, we've got a lot of defenders and stuff like that, but he's done really well in training since he's come back, and he's obviously played a lot of games at Morpeth. And he just pulled me the other day. He wanted to play more football. He wanted me to basically say, am I going to give him a chance starting? And I was like, well, no, not in the moment, because we're doing really well. And he weren't happy sitting on the bench and not playing. And when you do go on loan and you play, 10, 12 games, you want to play every single week. So Brid came in for him. It's just a 28-day loan. And, he can go and play. He wants to play. And, if we need him, we can bring him back in 28 days. But Ducky getting fit today, we knew it was okay to let him go. All right, mate. No worries, mate.